Visambulavinaaka, I'm Amrita Priyadarshini and this is FBC News. Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama has issued a stern warning that local authorities will leave no stones unturned in the prison breakout investigations. An inquiry is being carried out into allegations that the breakout of the 5 inmates was assisted by some within the prison system. Bainimarama says if the allegations are true, then it is a grave breakdown of prison principles and authorities will get to the bottom of it. Meanwhile, the search continues for escapee Isoa Wanga. The other 4 are in police and military custody. 2 have been arrested for harbouring. FBC News understands the 3 arrested for the robbery at the BSP Samambula branch are former inmates. The recent arrest and charging of Asian nationals for human trafficking-related offences have pointed to revelations that organised crimes are happening in the country. 3 Asian men were recently charged for allegedly deceiving Asian women to come to Fiji and forcing them into prostitution. This may be the first case where someone has been charged for such an offence. Shalvin Chand reports.
This is not a new trend. Prostitution involving Asian women has been happening for more than a decade now. It takes no genius to figure out what happens at certain night spots in Victoria Parade in Suva. What is of more concern is that is well coordinated and sometimes involves the help of locals.
And it's not only in Suva, we also hear about it in Lautoka, where you can find, at one stage we found posters saying new Chinese girls $20 tonight, and things like that. So very blatantly people can see that. And we absolutely, the stories that have been coming out, several girls have been brought in to us over the years.
Police in the past have even raided homes in suburban Suva, which they believed had been used as brothels, where the Asian prostitutes bring their clients to. This alone hints at the organizational level of such activities.
What they were saying was, what they were telling us was that they were brought here to work in garment factories or other factories, but they've been prostituted by the people who had brought them in. Basically stories like you hear from Europe and Thailand and Philippines and so on, and that has been happening for a number of years.
While there has been a denial in the past about organized crime rings operating in Fiji, events say otherwise. In 2003, a Chinese student found guilty of forgery told the court he was doing it on the instructions of a Jason Zhong, the triad boss in Fiji. In 2004, local and Australian police raided the biggest methamphetamine factory in the South Pacific at Lodala Beach. Among those arrested is a man called Jason Zhong, who was later extradited to Hong Kong. In 2011, Asian nationals were arrested for gambling and ammunition. Following that, a gang stabbing of an Asian national in Suva.
This is some of the emerging trends that we have been noticing, crime trends that are emerging in the country. We cannot get out from this as we are not in isolation. And the only thing is for us is just we have to get up and train our officers.
ACP Tundravu says he could neither confirm nor deny that some senior police officers are being investigated for corrupt practices, seemingly Asian-related. There are also fears that with more Asia interest in Fiji, it could escalate to uncontrollable levels. Shalvin Chand, FBC News.
Fiji will not compromise its core labour principles despite being in danger of losing millions of dollars in benefits under the generalised system of preference. GSP trade with the United States. The state is confident of defending itself against a petition by a union, which has asked the US to punish Fiji for its labour reforms. Dev Narayan has the details.
39 companies and 15,000 vehicles' livelihood depends on this single hearing in the US. The Fiji Trades Union Congress had filed a petition in December last year asking the US to impose sanctions on Fiji because of various reasons, which include the introduction of the Public Emergency Regulations, PR, and the Media Decree. However, a Fiji delegation to the US is expected to highlight the positives implemented by the Bainimarama government.
Through the improvement in roads, airports. So all these things are important. Sometimes people don't have appreciation from the outside. We'll let them know. And of course, they are also watching and observing, and also commending the political process that is going on, which is the voter registration process.
Fiji's total export bill to the US stands at around $100 million, and if the decision by the US goes the other way around, livelihoods of 75,000 people will be at stake. So what more could the government be advising US authorities on why Fiji should still be part of the GSP trade?
We will also tell them about our labor reforms, and what is the rationale behind it is to position Fiji as a modern trading nation, but not compromising our core labor principles, not at all. I think this is the message we'll take across when the team does go from here to US for the hearing. Yeah?
Whether it be garment, fishing or any other export, the final say will come from the US. Fiji has enjoyed duty-free access to US markets under the GSP system since 1976. Dev Narayan, FBC News.
The public will be given an opportunity to study the draft constitution before it is submitted to the Constituent Assembly. Commissioner Chair Professor Yash Khai says Fijians will be able to see whether their submissions have been taken into consideration. Epeli Tukuasa has more.
The Commission will prepare a document before the draft constitution is presented to the President and the Constituent Assembly in December. The document will explain what the adopted constitution will look like, the response to concerns from the people, and other recommendations. People can then make remarks on the document to the Commission.
At least the explanation in the 3 languages, major languages there, that you will take the time to study them, have your group discussions, and tell us what your views of it are.
Guy says the new constitution cannot accommodate all views, but it must be fair to all communities in Fiji.
Then you can tell us if we have not been true to our mandate and have ignored views that the public told us. Obviously, we can't accommodate every single point of view because they're often conflicting.
He says this phase of constitution making is critical because it promotes compromise and consensus building.
Phase of the process is critical because if we can build some consensus around a set of ideas that will be in the Constitution, it will make the task of the Constituent Assembly easier.
Guy adds they are trying their best to get the views from all sections of communities in Fiji and ensure everyone's voice is heard. The Commission continues to hear submission from the public. Epeli Tukuasa, FBC News.